Yo, this is it. I'm Mr. Fade, and you're listening to Attack of the Beats on IllMuzik.com. Before we get into things, just want to mention that we just had the, the Warzone? Yeah, we just had the Warzone beat battle, which was really dope because it's, it just keeps getting better and better. I mean, the quality of beats on the website is just really, really good. I mean, you guys are just really getting your skills up there, so that's good, and it's great actually. So, and we have starting tomorrow actually is the sign-ups for the Beat This competition, so make sure you get in on that. It's August 1st to 2nd. It's a reggae theme, and no, I'm not going to do some random reggae accent. It's terrible. I've tried. It's not good. Not good. So anyway, we'll get right into it. We got 5 beats, 5 reviews. So first up, we got AR the Superstar with Rhythm. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was AR the Superstar with Rhythm. All right, so there's a few things with this beat. I mean, first off, I like the keys at the beginning. Okay, they sound nice and smooth, and I was expecting something totally different when I first heard that. And when you came in with the drums and then that other synth, I guess it's supposed to be like a synth horn or something. It would sound like it was more pan left or whatever. That one I would get rid of completely. It just didn't match. I wouldn't even use that because those keys were really nice. I like that. And then when you brought in the guitar, I heard it in the background at first. And I was like, what is that? And then I can hear it's a guitar. Then you just broke it down when you have just the guitar part. Now for that part, the guitar is really nice. So definitely keep that. But I want to hear that with the keys, together, meshed together. Okay, those sound nice. When you have them separate like that, they're okay and all that stuff, but I think what you need to do is experiment with what goes well with each other. I mean, some people they don't want to layer stuff because they're not sure if it's gonna match or whatever, but you just have to try it. I mean, it's one thing to do with a plug-in or whatever, try doing that with samples. It's even harder, so but you just have to try. I mean, and I think that's one of the issues that's been going on lately is that a lot of beat makers, producers, they're just pumping out beats too fast. I'm not saying you're doing that, but I'm just saying that it's going out too fast, and that that it should be it's more time to be spent just working on the beat and trying to find good sounds that just go with everything else. So try that. And then as far as the drums, it just sounds like you're just trying to do too much with those drums. I would just keep it simple. just keep it simple and build out from there. So for example, you could just have your kick, snare, and hat, and then maybe a cymbal or something like that. Then you can add in a couple other little things later on, but for at least the beginning, just have for now, just have a simple drum pattern, just like kick, snare, kick, snare, like that. And you'll see, you don't need to have this complicated pattern, so I get carried away sometimes too with the pattern, but I try to keep it simple, and I find that always works best, so try that, try to get the sounds to mesh together, and but definitely get rid of that synth horn or whatever it was. I don't think it fits at all, but I do like the keys, and I do like the guitar, very nice, and add some bass, gotta have some bass in there. So all right. Okay, so next up we've got Arvin Armani with Milad State of Mind. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was Arvin Armani with Milad State of Mind. All right, so for this one, here's the thing. I made beats like this a long time ago, and at the time, what happens is you make a beat like this, and you think that it sounds good, and it does. It's just that does it really sound good? Like I used to make a beat like this, and then I would sit back, and then I would think to myself, okay, can I picture such and such a rapper rapping over this beat? And I just couldn't picture that, and it's because in your case, first of all, the drum pattern is really nice. It's nice and simple. That's the type of pattern that should be used, for the previous beat with Air the Superstar. And so the pattern for the drums, that's great. The drum sounds are good. It's laid back, whatever, that's cool. But it's the piano. That's the thing. I could tell that you're using a plugin on that piano, which is fine. But the thing is that when you're using a plugin, they always have tons of parameters, tons of options. You can add effects on your own with separate effects that you have or whatever. Try doing that, because normally when you just use a plain piano plugin like that, it doesn't sound that great. Like it does sound good. It's just that you got to remember, this is hip hop. You're trying to remember, like, you're trying to make a beat that's a hip hop beat. And to me, it just doesn't. This piano doesn't just sound hip hop. It doesn't sound hip hop at all. So either use a sample of a piano, and the thing with samples is that, it already sounds really good. It's got that nice, gritty sound to it, whatever. So, and then you could do a whole bunch of stuff with it. Or if you want to use the plugin, that's fine. But like I said, add some effects, do something. But even then, that's not enough, because it's just, the beat just sounds dry, So like I said, the beat is good. It's just that, to me, it just sounds dry when you just have a piano like that or whatever. So I want to hear a bass line behind that. And I think in your case, you could definitely add some kind of synth in the background, or strings or something, just to fill out the background, because everything just sounds very plain, very dry. So try adding something else. Like I said, synth, strings, whatever, just to fill out the background. And even if you don't want to do that, just at least a bass line that'll just fill out that back. And when you add that, you'll hear the difference. I mean, because right now, if you really listen to it, you just hear this, this dry piano with these little gaps and stuff. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like a plain sounding beat. So you got to spice it up. In other words, So that's what I try to do when I do use plugins. I do use. I have a nice piano plugin. I like to use this stuff, but the default, it's not great. So I try to add some stuff to it to make it better. And don't be afraid to add samples to what you just did. That's another thing, is that there's nothing wrong with, you don't have to make just a sample based beat or just a synth based beat. You could do both. So just remember that you can add the two together, and it makes it more fun. So give that a shot. All right, so next up we got Kid Alchemy with 33 and the Third. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was Kid Alchemy with 33 and Third. All right, so this one, I wasn't crazy about that bass line at first, but then as I was listening to it, I was like, oh, it's actually pretty good. It was like do. I think that's how it sounded anyway, but yeah, it actually works. It's good. I do like it, and but I do have to say, though, is that there's a few things, for example, on the mixing end. So, for example, your drums, okay, the kick was thumping a little too hard because you got that bass note and then you got the kick, so it was a little too thumpy on that end, and then you had the very weak sounding snare to go with that. So I would bump up that snare. When you had your hook, you brought up the snare, which was great. You brought all that stuff up. So if you can have it at that level all the way through, that'd be good. I mean, maybe you're trying to do it a certain way, I guess, like you're trying to have your chorus and your verse. So for the verse, you have the snare is very low, whatever. So that's fine, whatever. But to me, it's just like it was very low. So if you try to bump that up a bit, and when you brought in the strings, that made a big difference when you had those strings come in, because it just made the beat sound a lot nicer. Like I could tell that was your hook, that was your chorus, so that was good. And you don't have to add anything else to it, but because of the sound of the beat, to me, I would say add something. Just add a little something to it, because the way the beat sounds, it's just kind of like this monotone sound, right? And like with the beat overall, right? The whole song. And so if you had vocals on top of this, like somebody rapping on this, okay, great, you're done. But still, I think that what you should do is add a little something. And what I'm thinking is just add some vocal snippets. Okay, not all the way through, but just in certain spots, have just a little, like put a high pass filter on it and just have it come in, just sample some some rap song, whatever, and just have, you know, the vocal part that you want or whatever, just a little part for like 1 or 2 bars, and just have that come in, you know, over your beat and stuff, you know, and that would just spice it up. Because sometimes I'll make a beat that kind of resembles like this, where it's just like, okay, it's there, it's good, I like it, but I want to spice it up a bit. So that's what I'll do, because it's not always about just adding another sound, like another instrument, you know what I mean? Like you could add scratches to it if you do that, or just vocal snippets, you know, just sample something, or just use if you have like a stock sound and a plugin or whatever, just something that you can add to it, or even just, you know, some crashing sound, let's say, that you can add on the first bar every, let's say, 8 bars or something like that, you know, just little things like that, but just something just to add a little oomph to it, you know. So but overall it's a nice beat, and I do like it. So next up we got On the Calf with Mono Industrial. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was On the Calf with Mono Industrial. All right, so, you know, it's disappointing, man, because I really expected that the sound that you're using, the sample, I'm assuming it's a sample that you're using, that was going to be the background to the beat. Okay, I thought it was going to be just some background noise, some background music, whatever, and then you have something else just dropping on top of it, like some kind of other sample or some synth or something like that. Because on its own, like, it's okay, but, you know, I see what you're doing with it, but honestly, I definitely would have used that as a background music to something else. So for what you did with it, I did like it, although I wasn't crazy about the end of your loop when you had that other I think it went down a note or something like that. So I wasn't crazy about the sound of that. It wasn't great, but it was okay. I did like it, and I think this one too is a good candidate to have some vocal snippets on top, because of the type of beat it is. It's like this grungy, you know, dark beat. If you add just this little vocal snippet, I think it would make a big difference, because the drums are on point. Drums are really dope and everything like that. Towards the end, I think it was where you added some background synth or something. So that was good. So I'd keep going with that, build on that a bit, because I do think you do have some room to add something on top of everything. So give that a shot, but definitely try some vocal snippets. And you know, like I said, I would put something else on top. Give that a shot if you want, see how it turns out or whatever. But for what you did, it's good. I do like it. It's just that last part of that loop. I have to listen to it again. I think it was like you just went down a note or whatever. So it just kind of sounded like it was off key and whatnot. So, but it's a dope beat. I do like it, and yeah, good job. All right, so next up we've got the last beat. Oh, let's see here. What's it called here? I gotta read these things here. Hold on. Okay, we got Troy with Quavo type beat. Let's check it out.
The Fader Beats. The Fader Beats.
All right. Okay, so that was Troy with Quavo Type Beat. All right, so what we have here is, to me, this beat is like a starting point, I would say. You got this flute going, and I thought that was just like some intro or whatever. I thought you can add something on top or whatever, but instead it was just, you just carried it all the way through. So I wouldn't do that. I mean, if you're going to do that, definitely add some more instruments to it, because it just sits there by itself. And to me, I mean, you can't carry a track with just a flute or whatever, because it's not that type of instrument. It's not some kind of lead or something. So I would use a flute to complement something else. So you definitely have room. I'm not going to recommend, what instruments to add. I mean, but definitely you should add something. Just try to build something around this flute, or build something new, but add the flute to it. And then, because your drums, you got your drums and everything, you keep that, but then, just build around the flute or whatever. So you could basically, let's say you mute your flute, do some other instruments, and then bring that flute back in and see how it sounds or whatever. The drums are good. I do like the kick. It's pretty good. I thought it was a little hard at first, but it was actually pretty good. But you got to bring that snare up, because it just makes, I think the drum track just makes the beat just kind of sound low and just kind of lazy or whatever. So I mean, that's okay. Some people just have that style and all that stuff. That's fine. But I think if the drums were more exciting, it would make a big difference with the beat. Because I did see that you just didn't loop the flute. I mean, you had a little breakdown and this and that, whatever. So you could keep doing that. But the drums, drums are important. I mean, you got to have a nice drum track that slams, something that's going to sound really, really good, so that it brings out everything else. So for the drums, for example, you could have like I said, bring the snare up a bit so you can hear it more. But also you can have some kind of exciter on it. There's some plugins. I keep forgetting to check the name of this plugin, but it was some kind of drum exciter or whatever. And you add that to your drums, it makes a big difference. So like it kind of like it formats it, it converts it so that it's like it sounds hot or whatever. So anyway, try that. Try doing something like that, and then, like I said, add some other instruments, because definitely I wouldn't use the flute as just a lead. Use it to complement something. So yeah. All right, so that's it for me. I'm Mr. Fade. This is Attack of the Beats. Keep sending the beats. I'll keep reviewing them. And my favorite beat is, the winner is, drum roll please, Kid Alchemy with 33 1/3. Let's check it out.